Alright, we are making some air fryer chips. Pretty simple really, you know, follow these steps. Been done a bunch of times, but I thought I'd give it a try and do a bit of experimentation around different timings and stuff like that in the air fryer, and here it is. And if you want to, please give me a like or subscribe. I'd really appreciate it, but you don't have to if you don't want to, because this is your life and you can do whatever you want. But yeah, let's get started with making some chips. Alright, time to make these chippies. Super simple, and it's going to be even easier now that I have this new gadget called a mandolin. I don't know if you've ever tried making slices of potatoes for potato chips without a mandolin, or just doing it by hand, but it can be a bit of a mess. So I've got this new gadget. I don't exactly know how to use yet, but that won't stop me. So it's pretty simple really. Let's begin. So we have 2 potatoes. I mean, we could just do 1, I suppose, but let's go hard and let's go 2. You can peel them, but I'm gonna be super lazy and not peel them because who needs them? I'm just gonna give them a slight wash. Just a quick cheeky wash. Now, we have our potatoes. Alright, let's go to the smallest setting. And then we just sort of go like this. And we've got to be very careful with mandolin. I don't know if you guys have ever used one before, but it can be kind of crazy. It's very sharp. I don't want to go too fast, but here we have some nice thin slices. Pretty even, but this should be perfect for what we need. Probably could have like a bowl underneath or something, but you know. All right, let's try it in this thing here. Okay, it's kind of rough, I'm not gonna lie. There we go. Let's see how we did. So this is my first go at the mandolin. Okay, we have a bunch of varying thicknesses, but I think it's all pretty good. You know what? We'll just start with 1. Because there's a lot of chips. So these are a lot thicker than these ones. Like there's some real thin ones in here. So I think we'll just try and get rid of the thinny ones. Because they're thin on one side, so yeah, so we'll just try and keep it. I don't know, I think the more I use the mandolin, the better I'll get at it. But these are definitely much better than trying to slice them by hand. Like this, chuck these in here, and we're just gonna let these soak in some water, just to get rid of some of the starchiness. So we'll just let these soak in here. I might give it a rinse through, because you can see it's quite starchy in there. So we'll just empty out the water and we'll chuck some new water in. All right, we'll just let that soak for about 5 to 10 minutes. Straightforward, really. Honestly, making chips becomes so much quicker when you have a mandolin, so I highly recommend. Alright, yeah, but I'll see you back in like 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes, give or take 10 minutes. I don't actually know. Now, we're going to empty out these and we are going to put them on some paper and dry them out. Put a paper down. Oh, here we go. So you get some paper towel, or normal towel I guess, I don't know, something clean would probably work best. Alright, and then we just lay them down. You know, I'm very excited to see how these goes, because I've done chips a few times in air fryer, but the biggest problem I have with chips, I mainly do sweet potato chips because I'm always left with sweet potato after making curries or something. They often come very big. And this was all from 1 potato. I bought a few potatoes because I'm doing a few different chips. Then we're gonna cover it on the top side and pat it down a little bit. You know how it is. You know how it is. And we just try and get it nice and dry. Over that, we'll just kind of wipe out the bowl. You know, because I don't like doing extra dishes, so I don't really want to bring out a new bowl. And while we're waiting, we'll start preheating. We'll start preheating the air fryer while we just wait for these to just dry out a little more. Okay, so that's that going. So that should just preheat in a little while. Yeah, so that's going to be preheating in the back. These are going to be should be dried out pretty well. It's not going to be fully dried out, but you know, it won't be excessively moist, which is what we're trying to avoid. That. Alright, and then we just chuck them into here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to add a little bit of vegetable oil. We're just going to toss it, get nice and coated, so everything's coated. Also going to chuck in some salt as part of frying. Now I'm not sure if it's a good idea to do the salt now or later. But I think you won't hurt if you do a bit now and then kind of season it with the salt of your choice. And because we have that truffle salt, you know I'm going to be doing that. Got a little bit of oil here. Oh, that's probably, it might be good enough. And we just sort of make sure it's, you know what, we could probably add a little bit more oil. No, actually, it might be Gucci. Okay, I think it's pretty well oiled up, so they shouldn't stick necessarily together. All right, and we'll just chuck in a little bit of salt, just to begin that season. All right. Okay, I don't think the air fryer is probably warm. But you know, that's okay. It'll be warm enough, so let's just move over to the air fryer station. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna chuck them in haphazardly. And we'll do like one layer, or like a layer just kind of laid on top of each other. Looks like we're gonna do 2 batches. You know, like that. So not necessarily one layer, just kind of interleaving a little bit, but not fully chockers. And with that, we're gonna chuck it down. And we're gonna put an air crisp. Let's do 180 for, let's just do 12 minutes. And at the 6-minute mark, we'll check on it, maybe give it a bit of a flick through, and then check it, see how it's done. And then we also get to check it later. We also have another batch, so we can switch up the recipe and see what numbers kind of work well. Okay, it's at 6 minutes. Let's see how it's looking. Okay, it's looking interesting. I don't know if it was the right move to have it kind of together. Maybe I should have split it out a little bit more, but it's not looking too bad. Alright, we'll just see how it finishes up, I guess. It's not looking too bad though. Not looking too bad. Alright. I guess I'll see you in 6 minutes and hopefully it's not burnt. Okay, let's have a look-see, shall we? Ooh, that actually looks really decent. Look at that. Okay, okay. I mean, it is stuck together, kind of. Yeah, it is stuck together, but okay. Well, usually I'd have some lights on me, but it seems I've the battery pack that I use for the lights. Let's chuck some of this truffle salt. All right. So apologies about the lighting. Yeah, this worked out quite well. I think the cooking time was perfect. 180 at 12 minutes was basically perfect. But yeah, some of them are stuck together, so I don't mind the stuck together ones though, like the slightly less cooked ones. With this information, we are going to, just do a single layer this time, and we do 10 minutes. Because I think that would be good, and we're just going to leave it and see how it turns out. And I'll try and get the lighting situation sorted out. But yep, let's get it. So yeah, single layer, 10 minutes, 180. Okay, so this is what happens when you do it with just one layer and you don't check on it. It kind of just becomes overlaid anyway. Look at that. So I did it all in one layer, it becomes overlaid anyway. And I fixed my lighting situation, so kind of. All right, let's chuck it on again. So yeah, one layer, it just moved all the chips around, so still quite good though. Okay, I think 10 minutes, 180 was a bit better. Not as, this one is probably like, look at that. Look at that. Because it moved around and it's sort of all over the place, doing a single layer is also time efficient and also it doesn't turn out as good. So we've got our last batch. Well, I'm just going to make it my last batch. I'm just going to chuck it in willy-nilly and we'll do 10 minutes on 180 again and see how that goes. Okay, so that's 10 minutes, 180, rest of it in, kind of overlapped again, and see how this turns out. All right, let's have a look at the last batch, shall we? That looks pretty good. Bit of different texture to it. Let's give it a big old taste test, shall we? Yeah, look at that. Look at those chips. All right, let's have a look at this one, shall we? Last one. It looks pretty good. Look at that. And hear this crunch. Probably added a bit too much salt than I needed, to be honest. I know the air fryer does have like a fan in it. So maybe if I put it to the bacon roast, it'll be a bit better, but maybe not as crispy, I don't know. That, my friends, is some potato chips in the air fryer. Super simple. Highly recommend you have a mandolin, otherwise it's very hard, or like a food slicer, because doing it just by a knife is very hard. This is probably the best chips I've ever done. Yeah, pretty simple. Yummy, yummy. And there we have some air fryer chips. Some chippies made with a mandolin. And I actually did have another go at a few different kind of settings for the air fryer. And I think that the best one that I found was to do about 16 minutes or so on 150 degrees Celsius in the air fryer. That showed up some good chips, and I'll just show you a little video about that. But it does take a little while, so you just gotta kind of figure out, see what works for you, how you like your chips. But that should give you a bit of an idea of what to expect with a few different ways of doing things. But yeah, highly recommend mandolin. Is basically a must-have for chips. You can do it with a knife, but it is hard work. Mandolin makes it nice and even and thin. Then you've got to soak them. Some people also do a parboiling solution where they boil a little bit, but that takes a lot of effort and I'm lazy. And then you just chuck it in the air fryer and just sort of make it even, chuck it on the bacon roast or the air crisper or whatever your air fryer has, and then boom, just salt it and you have some chips. And you don't have to have salt either. I was using smoked paprika and garlic powder. Actually tasted really good as well. But yeah, whatever works for you. Thank you all for watching, and see you for the next video. Peace out.